Should we just do it?
5, 6, 7, 8. Hi, guys.
Cha-cha.
I'm Kimber. No.
And I'm Tori.
Yep. God. Yeah, it's Friday.
That's good.
It's a sunny Friday.
That's real good.
My brain. It's fine.
It's fine.
I'm Tori.
Hi, I'm Kimberly.
Oh my gosh. And welcome to It's Nothing.
It's Everything.
And hi.
Hi. We got stuff to talk about. Hi, by the way. Hello.
Hi.
It's been, I feel like 100 years since I've seen you.
I do feel like it's been 100 years. I was like, we haven't recorded. It's only been 2 weeks, but it feels like a long time.
I know. So much has happened between now and then.
So much.
So much.
So
I was
much.
on the other side of the country.
Yeah, you saw 17 shows
I
in
saw
3 days.
So many shows. I saw 7 shows in 5 days.
That's a lot.
Whilst also working.
Yes.
Yeah.
And going to the
going
doctors.
to the doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just having lots of fun.
Wow.
I have a 4-way tie for my favorite show.
Okay.
And they're
Give it.
all very different.
Okay.
Operation Mincemeat. Must see.
Okay.
Must see. It's a true story
Mm-hmm.
about some British secret agents
Oh.
who tricked Hitler into believing that we were going to enter Italy via Sardinia. So he pulled his 90,000 troops out of whatever southern coastline they were trying to protect
Okay.
and moved up north to Sardinia so that we could come in and win the war. And then we did.
So it's an upbeat musical?
It's actually very upbeat. It is 5 actors that play.
Hitler always feels like an upbeat situation.
Yeah, the
You know?
the Nazi number is the top of the second act, and it is
It's
like
the opener.
sequins. It's a boy band number, flashing lights, serious boy bandography. It's so good. It's great.
Okay.
It's 5 actors. They play. I don't know how
Oh my
many
God, it's only
characters,
5
but
actors?
it is literally like 100 characters between the 5 of them. It's so fast, moves so fast, so quippy, so good, so zippy.
Cute.
But then also like just super sneaky moments that are very
Pull at your heartstrings.
pull at your heartstrings.
Okay.
Highly recommend.
Okay.
So that maybe happy ending
Okay.
with Darren Criss. It's about some robots.
Yes.
It's about some robots who fall in love,
Yeah.
like they do, you know.
Yeah.
Like
Like
robots
Wally.
are want to do. Yeah, like Wally and
Like Wally.
Eve.
Yeah.
Eva.
Eva.
And then a play called Purpose,
Okay.
which is it's not unlike August Osage County.
Oh, okay.
It is heavy. It's a 3-hour show. It is a family drama. It's all about like the skeletons in the closets.
Okay.
The entire first act takes place at dinner.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm. And it is like, whoo, it's a lot. It's a whole lot.
Cute.
And then the fourth one is Sarah Snook. It's a 1-woman show. It is
With the gal from Hacks?
is that Sarah Snook?
Nope.
There's
Smart?
also Jean Smart. Oh, I saw that one too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, is that a 5-way tie? Oh.
I think you said it was a 5-way tie.
Okay, well, Call Me Izzy, which is the Jean Smart. We saw the first preview. So, like, it was still
to see her
very
act
raw.
in real time and like talk about making her life what Hacks is. Like Hacks is about her being a comedian, right? Like
really?
kind of like a washed up comedian, stand-up comedian. And she's like getting kicked out of Vegas and she's like, screw this. I'm gonna make my own stuff. And then she like explodes. Now I'm only on season 3, so it could go to hell and high water. But yeah, that's like the whole premise.
Oh.
And about like she brings in like a struggling comedy writer, also played by an actress I do not know, but she's fantastic. It's very funny. Highly recommend.
Is
Hacks.
it Roslyn friendly?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
You know.
Should we test it out first?
You might want to watch the first
We are watching
episode.
Maisel with her right now.
It's just more swearing. And it's real time.
Oh, well, she
You know,
knows.
but
She's
she
heard
knows
those
that,
words.
yeah, she's skibbity
She
riz.
grew up skibbity riz. She grew up with actors, and now she's surrounded by brain rot. So
What's brain?
Skibbity riz.
I don't even know what skibbity riz
All
is.
those words.
Oh. There was a professor who did a whole a whole lecture in their dialect,
Mm-mm.
the Gen Z, and it was incredible, though. It was
Could you
really
even understand it?
well, no, but, like,
That's
they
not the
did.
point.
They did, and it was and he said, "Keep challenging the language. Keep challenging the language. Keep doing it."
All right.
I, like, really liked it.
Where did you find it?
Instagram,
Of course. Where everything is.
where I find everything.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, I remembered the other one. The Picture of Dorian Gray
Oh, okay.
is the Sarah Snook show.
Oh.
One woman show. She plays the visual effects in that show were absolutely unbelievable.
Mm,
Like I don't think it will ever tour because I don't know how they would ever
do that.
possibly do that. It was I don't know how. It's a 2-hour no intermission one woman show.
What?
But when I said the same thing, and then when I watched it, I mean, I don't know how she doesn't die at the end of every show
Yeah.
because the last 20 minutes are like a monologue of someone who is like on cocaine and had 12 shots of espresso at the same time. Like she is talking so fast, and also her character is like having this full
Oh my god.
mental episode. I mean, it's like 20 minutes of just like not breathing. And I don't know how she does it. She's unbelievable.
She went on
So,
sprints before she opened that show
yeah. Yeah. And
while
she
giving
has
that
2 show
monologue.
days.
That's bananas.
Yeah.
Man, they're
God bless.
a different breed,
They
those
really are.
Broadway performers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I don't even think she has an understudy. I don't know how, well, I guess I don't know how she
You'd
would
have to.
because, but there are no, but all of the visual effects
Or her
are
face.
her.
Well, I'm sure they have, like, another B-roll.
I don't know because it's so tech heavy and has to be so expensive. Like it
Mm.
would, I don't know, but I think it's a limited engagement too.
Oh.
I could be starting rumors. I have no idea. It's great. It's great shows. Great stuff
Starting
on
rumors.
Broadway. Very, very exciting to see,
Wow.
especially because, we had some snooze fest seasons after
I mean,
the pandy.
it's nice to know that there's, like, new artwork
Yeah.
happening in the world,
Yeah, and very
not
cool.
just, like, guys and dolls.
Yes. But also like Operation Mincemeat was written by the 5 actors who are in the show. It is like the thing that they created from the ground up and then took to the West End and are now on Broadway. It is like
That
everyone's
shit's
fantasy dream.
inspiring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's very exciting to see some real magic.
Come on, magic.
Come on, magic.
I love it.
Blah blah blah. And then other stuff. Doctor's appointments, very boring.
Blur, blur.
How was your weeks? 2 weeks? I haven't seen you in 2 weeks. I didn't get to take your yoga class.
I know. It's fine. Yeah, we're just, like, in the transition of one kid is now in summer,
Yeah.
one kid is not in summer, and still won't be for, like, another few weeks. So whenever this comes out, doesn't matter anymore. But we're just doing transition and planning for summer, and I definitely have the first summer that Finn, my eldest, was in, like, school, and we had, like, a school year, and then we had summer. I remember that summer being really hard for me
Mm-hmm.
because I was like, "What do I do
Mm-hmm.
with you?"
Mm-hmm.
And, like, the pressure every day, no time by myself,
Mm-hmm.
just, like, and I didn't have any camps or anything, so it was just, like, it was horrible. Like, I really hated it, and so then last summer when I was like, "Okay, I'm getting better, I'm gonna listen, we're gonna do it." Now, camps are bloody expensive.
Yeah.
Holy God.
And you have to like set an alarm
Yeah.
for the day that they open registration
Oh, yeah,
so
yeah,
you can get a freaking slot.
yeah. Well, and here's the thing is, like, I don't even attempt those kind of camps because it's too stressful.
I think those are the only kind of camps we have in the city.
Which is true.
Yeah.
Like, I go to, like, a My Gym, like,
Oh, sure.
those little
Like a
things.
drop, what do you call it? Drop in? No.
I mean, they
drop-
have drop-ins.
Sure, yeah.
But My Gym, or there's My Gym, there's Little Gym, all those, like, little franchisee things.
Mm-hmm.
Which none of them they're not all created the same.
Yeah.
Definitely. But there's one that's real cute by our house, and they have fun. Like, there's a Sonic theme week and a, Mario theme week, and so my kids are all about it.
Exciting.
And it is affordable. And that's the thing. Last summer I was like, okay, it's gonna be camp for a week, no camp. Because I don't want to, like, overtax the system.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's also so expensive.
It's also so expensive, and, like, hashtag we can't afford it. But, like, But I also, and at that time I only had one because Sawyer was so young that I couldn't put him anywhere. He was
Yep.
just here with me all the time.
Just being
And
a blob.
he's just a bag of goo. And so his bag of goo was great. Um but I last summer I was like thriving because I'd like planned it so well.
Yeah.
And then for some reason this maybe I have PTSD from the first summer because then this summer I was like, "Oh my god, is it going to be enough?" and blah blah blah. And now I have two, so it got more expensive because now Sawyer
Yeah.
is old enough.
Yeah. It's
So,
insane.
yeah,
Having a children having a children
having a
having a
children
children
is
having children is just a guarantee that you will never have a savings account because all of your money goes to keeping them alive
yeah,
and
and
entertained.
entertained.
Mhm.
And yeah, and like picking the camps that, the kids will maybe like too. Um
And then also making sure that there are camps that do something other than just, like, sit the kids at a table with a coloring sheet all day long
Also that.
that costs you $700 a week. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, there was like a bike one I really wanted to sign my kids up for, but I'm not it was
Was it
astronomical.
pedal heads?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was like, I heard such amazing things, and I'm like, that's awesome. I heard it was expensive, but I was like, it's fine, it's blah blah blah. No, can't afford that, and it's like far away. Like all the camps that we have that the kids are in this summer are like relatively close to my house, like 10 minutes from me.
Yeah, pedal heads is the city, right?
Well, the ones that I was looking at, like in Issaquah, which isn't horrible, right? But not,
Yeah, not around the corner.
it's not around the corner. There was also one in like a Renton. But yeah,
Sure.
it was like $600 a kid. I was like, for a week, you
Yeah.
know, not even all day either. It was not like an all day situation. I don't think my kids would like all day, but you know,
That would be intense too, outside riding a bike all day long.
oh my God, I don't want to do that.
No.
And I'm still not very good at riding a bike.
Oh my god, Roslyn had a when we lived in New York, Roslyn had a bike with training wheels,
hmm
and then we moved to Indonesia.
Sure.
Nowhere to ride a bike,
Oh, yeah.
nary a sidewalk in sight.
Yeah.
Also super polluted, so, like, you don't hang out outside.
Oh,
Um, because there are 22 million people in Jakarta during the day.
it's a
Everyone
lot.
commutes in from literally everywhere. Yeah, it's just horrible traffic all the time. All the time. So you just don't spend time outside.
Yeah.
You spend time at the mall instead.
Oh.
Yeah. So obviously didn't ride a bike there.
hmm
And then we moved back and I feel like the summer we moved back while I was on bed rest with recovering
Dengue.
from the dengue. I feel like she tried, like maybe Kim, shout out to Kim Dare. Maybe Kim tried to teach her and she like couldn't, was not in the headspace for it.
Yeah.
And then I feel like there were multiple summers where she just like would get anxiety, didn't want to learn, didn't want anyone to watch her, didn't want
Uh
anyone to
huh.
teach her. And then last summer, so she was 14.
Uh huh.
Last summer we were at Sun River with family and it's like Sun River in the summer, you all just go out and ride bikes together. You ride your
Mm.
bike to the pool, you ride your bike to lunch, you ride
Yeah.
your bike to everywhere.
They
So
don't have those little strap on bicycle seats for a 14-year-old.
no, I didn't.
No.
We didn't do that. No,
No.
she did actually ride in the bike trailer with Dot one time.
Oh my God. Better pedal hard, Nick.
But yeah, which of course he was like, "Yeah, let's do it. Let's
Yeah,
go,
I got
bro.
it.
I got it." Um, but I feel like she was like looking around and looking at like 5-year-olds riding bikes, and she got super frustrated, and so she just like
Yeah.
took a bike. I took her. I tried to help her a little bit,
Yeah.
and after like 10 minutes, she was like, "Mom, I need you to stop," and I was like, "Okay." And so
Yeah.
then I just sort of like just stepped back and watched, and she was like, "I need you to stop watching me," and I was like, "Okay." And so then she took it onto like one of the bike trails away from where we were
Mhm.
and just figured it out on her
Taught
own.
herself.
And like after 45 minutes, she came back. She was like, "Okay, I'm fine. Let's go for a ride." And we went and we rode the bikes like 3 miles and she was fine.
That's badass.
Yeah.
That's badass. I love that.
I was kind of the same way though. I was like, I will
Oh,
teach myself how to do things, but don't watch me do it.
don't watch me do it.
Yeah.
100%. I'm still that way.
Yeah.
I won't try it in front of people, but like everyone look away and then I'll figure it out.
Yeah, I'll figure it out.
Yeah. Oh, I took off my own training wheels. Like my parents have a bigger, driveway or whatever. And so I was out there I don't remember how old I was, but I was probably 5, like the oldest, 5 or 6. And yeah, I was out there by myself, just like beep booping around. I was like, fucking little wheels are, like always made me like
Get
shift and like there's,
Yeah, they make you weeble
they
wobbly.
make you weeble wobble. And I was like, that's dumb. And so I went into my dad's, I don't know why I didn't go to a parent, or maybe I did go to a parent and they were just like, we will in a
Busy, we'll
second,
do it
or,
later, yeah.
doing something. And so I was like, screw it. And so I went into my dad's garage, in his shop, and got something that looked like the nut that was keeping that trash wheel on, and I took them off myself.
You went and got that wrench. You
I
said
did. I said, "This looks like it could fit that, so let's try that."
and then I imagine tiny baby Victoria just, like, walking up with training wheels in her hands, handing them to her
Yeah.
parents, being like, "Okay, thanks, bye."
Be like, "These are a waste of my time. I'm
These
better
are
than this.
stupid.
I'm better than this." And so, yeah, I don't remember learning how to ride the bike after that, but I do remember taking off my own training wheels.
That's good.
Yeah. I
That
was like,
fits. That tracks.
right? I don't remember anything after.
Yeah.
I do know how to ride a bike.
But you took charge of your own destiny, and look at you now.
Yeah. She was
She'd taken off her own training wheels.
yeah.
Can't stop me.
But I probably didn't. I don't remember learning how to ride a bike.
I don't either.
But I'm trying to get the boys to do it, and like Finn just refuses. He's like, "No,
Yeah.
I feel safe with my wheels, my training wheels. So like, let's just leave them." And I was like, "Yeah, but look at all your, all your other friends in the cul-de-sac are like not." And he's like, "I don't care." I was like, "All right, well,
That's how Roslyn was for all of elementary school. We would especially during COVID when we would have park meetups with her friends, and everyone would
yeah,
bring their bike, and she would either bring her rollerblades or her scooter.
yeah,
And like her class in elementary school had a annual camping trip up at Deception Pass, and
mm.
everyone would bring their bikes, and she would bring her scooter, and she was just like always the kid on the scooter.
I mean, listen, I love a scooter and a rollerblade.
Yeah, come on,
I
rollerblades.
could cut it up with them rollerblades. I fucking loved a rollerblade. I do remember anytime I got out of the hospital because of my asthma when I was little, I would go straight to the outside and like ride a bike in circles.
Until your lungs couldn't handle it anymore.
Well, I mean, I was on so many steroids that like my lungs could handle everything at
Did
that
you have a
point.
nebulizer?
I nebulized every day until I was
Yep.
about 23.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
You took it to college?
Yeah, babe.
Oh my god.
I did it every single I can't remember. No, I mean, no, I didn't do it every single night, but yeah, I don't travel without a nebulizer, full blown nebulizer. I don't.
Ever?
Mm-mm.
Anytime you go on a trip, you pack it with you,
Mm-hmm.
just in cases.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Well, because I'm an acute asthmatic, so like it can turn 0 to 60 very quickly, and I'm allergic to most things outside, environmental things. I've gotten it pretty good. Like I haven't. Here's the thing that saved me because I had an asthma specialist. I still have an asthma specialist. Let's not mumble the word. And but I remember like my old guy, the guy that had to watch me lift my tits off to give me the note.
Oh, same guy?
Same guy. I had him till he retired and I was in my 20s at least. But he had me doing my nebulizer every single night. And then I went back in as adult, and as an adult, my doctor was like, "Why are you doing that?"
That's so intense.
And I was like, "Well, because my doctor told me to."
That's
And
really intense.
yeah. I mean, that's a lot of, it's why I'm 5'2". I was supposed to be 5'7".
Did you get the shakes every time you used it?
If I hadn't done it in a while.
Ugh, that's what I hated about it. I would
Mhm.
always get like
Oh, your whole body shakes.
tremors.
Yeah. And like, in the hospital they would put me on a neb, for 10 minutes or until the medicine ran out, right? And then probably half hour later I would have to go back on it. And so I was just like full just Catherine Hepburn because I was so shaky. I was just like, oh, like hallelujah,
Oh my god.
And so anytime my both boys are touched also with the asthma, and so RSV, Finn or Sawyer had RSV this last Christmas, and they put him on before they found out it was RSV. They put him on nebs,
Uh-huh.
and so he was just sitting there, just like Catherine
Oh,
Hepburning so hard,
buddy.
and which is nice that I, have the experience,
Yeah,
so
you
it's
knew what to
not
expect.
scary.
Yeah.
Because Pat's like, whoa, I was like, it's okay.
You're like, it's normal, babe. Don't
like,
worry.
we're just gonna co-regulate as much as we can with him, like hold
Yeah.
him and rock him and like um I always remember anytime, uh do you ever catch yourself, like, when you're kinda stressed out and you, like, rock yourself to sleep?
Yeah, like you're rocking your child.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
I did it. I was pregnant in Disneyland. This is before COVID. So it was
Is this
Feb
the trip with the gays?
yes, this is
Mhm.
for Troy's birthday, and I was there 10 weeks pregnant, sick as a dog.
Oh, so sick.
And I had had a
Ugh.
miscarriage, so everything
Yeah.
scared me. I was like, "I'm not gonna go any fucking rides."
Yeah. Not a
And
one. The
not
Ferris
a
wheel is
yeah,
dangerous.
I was like, "No." And, I was sitting there, feeling so gross, and I was, like, laying down, taking a break I was in Troy's room, and I was laying down on his little couch, and I was just rocking myself, and he's like, "Are you self-soothing right now?" And
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't even think about it that way, and I was like,
It just felt good.
"I 100% am." And so anytime I, like, catch myself, like, self-regulating or self-soothing, I'm like I always think of Troy. But
I do rock. I'm the same way when I'm nauseated. When I'm sick, I
yeah,
rock. It feels so much better. Ooh, yeah.
yeah, and so I have hopefully pass that on to the boys when they get and I mean, like, if they have to do an ebb, we have to be very aware of when we're doing it because we do it before bedtime, but now they're jacked
No, yeah. Then
up.
you get insane.
Yeah, the just jitters and I mean, one time we had to do it with Finn, and Finn, he was felt better, which is great, but, he was in his room, I was trying to put him down, and he was like, I mean, talking a mile a minute. He was like, "Oh my gosh, let me tell you about my day, and have you seen the sun? And it's upstairs in the sky, and it's so yellow, and it's so bright, and have you seen trees? Trees are outside, and they blossom, and they're so" and
Were his eyes like bulging out
I
of
was
his
like,
head?
"Oh my god." I was like, you never notice when they're a little bit littler, right? But I was like, "Good god, he is talking like a hamster on a hamster wheel." Like he
He was
was
working on his character for Picture of Dorian Gray. It's
sure.
needed to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
zing, 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 zing. I don't even know how we got here, but yes, I'm an asthmatic.
Something about riding bikes. Oh, pedal heads. We've come all the way back around. Here we are.
Woo! So back to pedalheads. I can't afford it.
Yeah, it's Charles expensive.
And I mean, is it like riding a bike? Like if you don't ever learn how are there adults out there, readers, listeners? Love to hear from you if you don't know how to actually ride a bike and
So-
you're an adult.
Almost Rosalind.
Because like people say like wiping their butts, potty training. You never see an adult. Everyone figures out eventually. Is bike riding like potty training?
I mean,
No.
I guess if you're around bicycles.
Cuz like what if you're just never around a
I
bike?
feel like I know plenty of New Yorkers who've never ridden a bike. It's like driving. Like I know plenty of people who grew up in New York who do not drive cars because you don't drive in New York.
Yeah. So,
I have a friend in California who doesn't drive.
all right. Well, we want to hear from you still.
Yeah. Tell us. Have you
Give
taught
you
yourself
that-
how to ride a bike?
Yeah.
Have you not taught yourself how
Have
to ride
you
a bike?
taken off your old training wheels?
Are you afraid of bikes?
I would be.
Yeah.
After not doing it for probably a decade, I got back on one.
Oh,
We
yeah.
went some beach town and I was like,
Yeah.
and they're like, it's just like riding a bike. And I was like, I don't know, guys. I think that's a false statement.
Yeah. It's scary when
Yeah.
you haven't ridden for a while.
Yeah. But then I was like, oh,
You
okay.
ease into it.
Yeah, balance. Yeah.
It's also very meditative.
I did love it. I was
Yeah.
like, I want to do that more. And I do want to like buy a bike because now the boys will go with training wheels and all, and they'll go, up and down the thing. And I'm like, I could, if I was
Yeah.
with them, I want a bike.
Yeah. Do it.
I want a big banana seat.
I want you and Patty to get a tandem bike. And
Pat would hate that.
I want to see him in
He
a little
would.
barber shop outfit,
He
like
would
the
hate that.
striped
He would
top.
be so frustrated because we wouldn't work in
And the hat,
in
like the-
unison. He'd be like, "Fucking stroke, Tori, come on!"
Your little legs and his long legs.
So
Your
dumb
chain
and
would have
nut
to
and
be
Jeff.
smaller.
Like who would be in? I'd have like who's in the front, who's in the back. I don't know.
Well, I think you would have to be in the front
Because
then he
otherwise,
would
I
just
can't
see over you. Yeah, you would just be looking at his back the whole time.
Yeah, I'd be like, I don't know, oncoming traffic. I can't. I don't know. I'm just back here holding on for dear life.
Please.
But the wind, like I would be, like it would just go around.
Yeah,
me.
that's true.
So.
It would be aerodynamically very beneficial for
Yeah.
you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We go fast.
Look at us figured it out. Okay, tandem bike. You hear that, Patty? Now you know what to get her for what's coming up next. Her birthday.
Yeah.
40? 39.
39.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, 39 is as good a reason as any to get a tandem bike. Why not?
Amen.
I'm just over here with the ideas, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, did we wanna do the shout out? Or you wanna save it?
Wait.
Shout out
Refresh my memory.
to a listener.
Oh, yeah.
Stop.
Let's stop.
Stop being in my
Yeah,
way.
let's do it.
Who should be our
Who are we
first?
shouting
I
out?
think it's gotta be Yaz.
Yes. Yasmina, the
Yeah, yeah.
queena.
Yasmina the queena. Ah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, for everyone outside this room, because they don't know what we're talking about, um, we've decided for those people who are so active in our community, the people who
Thank
are
you.
our community,
Thank you.
first off, thank
Thank you.
you. But also, if you're sharing, if you're engaging with us and helping us, you know,
Grow.
grow,
Spreading the great word.
and even if you just like listen every time and then like talk to me or Kimberly when we're at like the studio or in life or whatever. We wanted to like start a segment. I don't know what we should call it though.
I don't either. We'll figure it out. Listen, give us ideas. What do we call
Give
it?
us ideas. What
Um,
but we wanna shout out those people. And today it's Yasmina
the queena.
the Queena because she is so magical.
So magical.
She truly is. And she has no hamstrings. And she's the longest, most beautiful person I've ever seen.
There's a photo of me doing aerial yoga next to her in Mexico, and I look so stupid
I can only imagine
with
what
my
you look like.
29-inch inseam and
Yeah.
her like Barbie legs, beautiful, just like legs to the sky. Yeah, just come on.
Yes.
Come on.
But also just so kind.
Yeah.
So kind. So yes, thank you for being here. We love you.
Thank you for being here. Thank you
Mhm.
for thank you for your questions, by the way, which we have not used yet on KT
Mm-mm.
Hot Take, but we will.
We're gonna get to it.
But also like thank you for your feedback and your thoughts
Mhm.
and sharing how our episodes have impacted you and also the people in your life. That
Ugh.
is so
So many tears I've shed.
many tears and also
Yeah.
just like really validating for us, but also I think empowering. Like I feel empowered by hearing those stories
Yes.
of how us sharing our stories affects people
Yeah.
because I think that's why we decided we wanted to start recording our conversations so that people could hear them because sometimes you just
I
need
don't want to be alone.
yeah, and sometimes like you just need affirmation that you're not the only one who thinks or feels a certain way and being
Mhm.
able to hear that from someone else is so validating. It
Yep.
makes you feel way less alone. So
So thanks, Yas.
thanks, yes, Mina, the queena.
You keep showing up, we gonna keep showing up.
Yeah, you're the
We
best.
do it for Yas.
We do it for yes.
So speaking of segue, what are we talking about today? Being mean to ourselves.
Being mean to ourselves.
Being hella mean to
and
ourselves.
why?
And why?
And why?
Yeah. And when you feel yourself doing it, how can you get out?
Yeah. So many. Poof. I mean, God, where do we want to start?
I mean,
First of all.
first at the very beginning, it's a very good place to start. I would say
The day I was born.
well, back in 1986.
Oh.
Oh no. I would say that probably the best place to start is like, what does being mean to yourself mean?
It's how you talk to yourself. We all talk.
Like, is that just like any negative thought?
No, I don't. I mean, negative thoughts are part of it, I think, but the way that we treat ourselves, the way that we restrict ourselves or withhold from ourselves or indulge or overindulge, right? Like the things that we would never let our children do or the things we would never say to our children or our friends or our family. Those like magical behaviors that somehow we reserve just for ourselves.
Do you think it all stems from parents and or childhood?
That's a good question.
Or do you think that there are people who are like, are we just programmed?
I think there are layers. I think some of it is childhood for me, personally, like the way that like the way that I would be communicated with in times of struggle.
Did you notice that that's how you would communicate with yourself in times of struggle when you grew up?
Yeah. I used to be very good at saying, Kimberly, what is wrong with you? To myself.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. Like, make a mistake, like, just a normal person thing, like, making mistakes is,
A
just part of
normal
being a
person.
human and learning about the world and
Yeah.
growing and evolving. But, like, I I'm recovering perfectionist,
Yeah.
doing my best to recover.
Yeah.
But there was definitely a time where I was just like, anytime I would do anything other than perfect, that was
Mm.
always my immediate response to myself. What is wrong with you? Like, why?
Mm.
I would never say that to anybody else.
Mhm.
I mean, maybe in jest, but like, uh, yeah.
Mm.
Or like, I used to, my alarms that I would set in the morning to wake up would always be like so aggressive. Like, my alarm always has a little note.
Oh.
And now when I set an alarm, it's usually like, "Get up, babe. Today's gonna be great." Or it'll be like nice emojis, or it'll
Yeah.
be something to like start my day off on the right foot.
Yeah.
But my alarms used to say things like, "Get the fuck out of bed," which is so aggressive.
It is aggressive, but I don't think that's bad. But
It's all about intention, right? It's like the way
right.
I intended it and the way I
Yeah.
would hear it or like read it to myself.
100%. That's
It was
the
not like a
crux.
cute, silly, like, "Get the fuck out of bed." It
Yeah.
was not that.
It's like, "Get out the fuck
Yeah,
out of
get the
bed, you
fuck out of bed.
lazy
Yeah.
piece of
Yeah.
garbage human."
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's very layered. I think part of it is how I was communicated to.
Mhm.
I think part of it is cultural, like
Yeah.
how we interacted with one another as children, or
Mm.
how children interact with each other,
Mhm.
or unfortunately grown-ups also.
Yeah.
Um, but I do think it's fascinating, and I would love to understand more about like why the default so often is to go negative when you are observing something that you've done or communicating with yourself in any certain way.
Yeah. I wish I could have, and maybe we've talked about it of like I just haven't learned it yet. I
Yeah.
mean, we talked about it in the email with Mr. Col
Culbertson.
Culbertson.
Yeah.
Just like I haven't learned that yet.
Yeah.
But yes, as recovering perfectionists, which I very much am as well, like that is a really hard, that's so uncomfortable,
Yeah.
right? Just like I should just be better.
Yeah.
My standards are too high. But dropping your standards feels yucky. Right? Because we frame it that way of like, I'm dropping my standards instead of just like, I don't know that yet. I don't know how to,
Yeah.
and
Or
like,
like you're making an adjustment.
or you're making an adjustment.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the being mean to myself, the first thing that came to my mind when we were going to discuss that is, or this was, it all had to do with physical,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
It all had to do with physical. Because I mean, I've been called mean my whole life. so, so
And
and
that's why we're friends.
yeah, I was like, and man, there has been some like real, not roadblocks, but mirrors in the last little bit about that in my personal life.
Oh, interesting. The
Uh,
universe is trying to highlight something for you?
the universe is very much highlighting the fact that, we have that saying of like, you're never too much and always enough.
Yeah.
Which, speaking of, yes, like that was a big connection for her and I. When I said that, she was like, that affected me so much in class because I like to end a lot of my classes by saying that. Because it was such an effective thing for me,
Yeah.
like, being told that I wasn't too much,
Such
and
a
that
common
I'm
thing for women to hear too.
yes, and I'm enough. I'm enough to be here. I'm enough. I'm smart enough. I'm cute enough. I'm
Yeah.
all the things that we're told we're not, and so we can't be places.
Yeah.
And, but that framing that you just stated of, like, I would never say that to a friend.
Mhm.
That was a huge, again, pivot for me in my life. It was like looking at myself and being like, old Tori would have been like, God, you're just so chubby.
Yeah.
And in the right place at the right time, I heard that. Like, would you ever say that to a friend? And so for a long time, when I was trying to reprogram my brain, it was anytime I saw myself, my reflection, and I had a bad thought, I had to replace it with a positive.
I love that.
And
Like in the moment,
like in the
you make
moment, I
yourself
had to look at myself and say, great,
find something you like.
here's something else. And slowly, because look, I mean, it's all gratitude, right? And of like, that's why they call it gratitude practice. It's a practice.
Right.
And the more you flex it, the stronger it gets. Same with how you speak to yourself.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm kick ass.
Yes.
And I should live everyone everyone around me, all my people who I trust in my life are like, Tori, you're kick ass. So why am I not believing that?
Yeah.
Like, what do I have to hear to believe that? And I had a great conversation with another listener, Miss Heidi, and we were talking about that it's like so often in life we look outside ourselves to find love, to find acceptance, to find
Mhm.
all of those things.
All the
We're
external
waiting, yes, we're
validation. Yeah.
waiting for other people to fill the cup when it's really like you're the only person that can. Because if you can't even actually like look at yourself and say something really positive, then somebody saying that to you ain't gonna fucking do a thing.
Yeah.
'Cause it's gonna hit the wall of, "No,
Yeah.
that's
It
not real."
has to start with you.
Yeah, but that's such a that's such a hard lesson.
Oh, I mean, I don't think I even, like, understood how to embody that lesson until I was in my 30s.
Yes.
Like, not
I'd
even
say
a
even
little bit.
mid-30s for me.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Well, I had to get over, like, I mean, the perfectionism and, like, the internal monologue
Mhm.
of always, "I should have known better."
Mhm.
Uh, man, really does a number to just, like, your self-worth and how you position yourself in the world and among other people. And also, like, culturally, we just are so we have been taught and shown through the news and the media and the magazines on the newsstand and the nightly news and the talk shows and like everything
Social
is
media.
rooted in gossip and judgment, and
Yeah.
it is astonishing to me because everything's for shock value, right? And
Mhm.
now everything's for clicks. And so it's like the more shocking you can be with what you say, the more clicks you're going to get. The more clicks you get, the more ads get viewed. The more ads get viewed, the more money you make. And so it's all about money, right? But
Mhm.
it's like using shock value to make money is what our modern media strategy is.
Mhm.
And so when you are constantly exposed to that, and like for me growing up and seeing the People magazines and the Us Weeklies where they have like a picture of a celebrity with
Mhm.
no makeup on who went to the grocery store in baggy sweats and her Birkenstocks, and
My everyday
God
outfit.
forbid, yeah,
My
exactly, like
everyday outfit.
just what I've worn since I was 5.
Yeah.
Um, and God forbid she's like, I don't know, not training 17 times a day, so, like, maybe she has a normal person body and not
Mhm.
like, a Hollywood film body.
Yeah.
And immediately it's like giant headlines ripping her apart.
Mm.
And, uh and men too, but I would say the attacks are
Majority is women.
primarily focused on
Yeah.
women. And that's what we grew up seeing
Yeah.
everywhere, and that's what we grew up hearing, and that's like those were like discussion topics for talk shows. We're just talk about people's bodies and
Yeah.
talk about people's choices
Yeah.
and judge people for not living life the way that we live our lives, which is so mind blowing to me
Yeah.
because what can you imagine a world where we all did exactly the same thing and we're all exactly the same people? First of all, that'd be horrible.
Yeah.
And also, like,
Boring.
we wouldn't have an economy. Like, we wouldn't function. We wouldn't
Yeah.
have growth as humans.
It would just be Birkenstocks thriving and the sweatpant company
Right.
thriving because we'd all
Come on, champion
realize that
sweatpants.
that fucking woman going to the grocery store is the most comfortable way for her to live.
Yeah.
It ain't stilettos, let me tell you.
Nope. Never.
Nah,
Never.
right? It's not.
But,
Yeah.
like, we do not live in a culture where we should just mind our own fucking business. We live in a
Mhm.
culture where we are told that it is our place to judge other people for their choices. Every time there's, like, a celebrity scandal in the news, we think it's any of our business. It's insane.
But it's also that if you do show radical self-love,
Yeah.
if you are like, "I am the tits bananas,"
Yeah, tits
right?
bananas.
And I am the tits bananas, and I believe that,
Yeah.
people are like, "Oof,
Yeah, you're ostracized for it.
you're egotistical."
Mhm. Yeah.
And so there's like,
Yeah,
"Well,
"Oop, your head's getting a
show
little
me
too
how to
big."
fucking win then, friend, because,
Yeah.
like, I I'm judged here, and I'm judged here. I'm judged if I believe in myself, and I'm judged if I don't believe in
Yeah.
myself, and so pick a lane,
Yeah.
Kev. You
"Come
know,
on,
come
Kev."
on, Kev. I don't know who's Kevin, but like he's always there.
It's
Um,
always Kevin's
it's
fault.
always Kevin's fault.
God, Kevin.
But I, s- but so that radical self love is a way of like sticking it to the man, essentially.
Yeah, and also, like, just the minute you stop concerning yourself with the lives of other people,
Yeah.
the amount of, like, healing that happens for you
Yeah.
immediately is really astonishing, like,
Yeah.
life-changing.
I think growing up that I said I didn't care. Like, I think back in because I was like, "I really give a shit?" I said out loud I didn't give a shit of what people thought about me,
Yeah,
and I think probably 85 of that is percent is real. Like,
sure.
I never acted to get likes.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I mean, but I can't like, I can't remember a time, but I also am like, "But that can't be real because that can't be real." Like, there has to be
Well, because so much
like,
so
I'm
much
like
is rooted in that, right? Like,
right, I was like
wanting to have a certain kind of physical appearance, wanting to have a certain
right,
kind of
mine manifested in a different way
yeah,
where I think about, like, high school Tori, and I was watching other girls do things to get attention and or blah, 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 whatever that means
yeah.
for them, right?
Mhm.
Um, and I never really did that, but I'm like, now I'm intrigued on how it manifested because then it's like, it had to go somewhere.
Yeah, if it wasn't that, what was it?
It had to be somewhere because or maybe I was just so mean because I did care. I think that's maybe where it is. It's like I cared. I didn't want to let anybody in to see like the real Tori, the soft side of Tori,
Yeah,
because she was going to get judged. But if I'm mean to you, I'm like, so who cares?
yeah,
You don't want to be my friend? All right.
yeah, fine.
Which I still I believe that. I was like, if you, that's why Pat has been so magical in my life. He was like, you're showing me all your ugly. When we first started dating, I was like, I'm going to show you all my ugly.
Imma lay it out.
Every closet I got, you gonna see the deep corners of it, babe. And so I was like but he stuck around. He was just like, "That still doesn't scare me." And
God,
that's why, like
what a man, what a man, what a man,
Bones
what
go
I am, man.
bone. Yeah, he's a magical human being who, deserves all the respect of for the rest of my life because he and as a lady, we just keep changing. So he's gotta, like, buckle up for the long run. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's like, "What Tory is coming out today?"
Wouldn't you like to know?
Be like,
Surprise.
"Mm, I'm not gonna tell you until I'm hitting you in the face with it."
Until she's full of rage. I get it.
Anyway, I don't know if any of that made sense, but
Oh, it made so much sense, but where do you think it came from for you? The negative self-talk, the the being mean to yourself?
being mean to
What was
myself?
yeah, what do you think your influences were?
Um, I mean, honestly, I can't tell who that is out there, but
Little toddlers out there
toddlers out there.
scatting? Are they scatting?
Yeah, somebody's beep
It's
bop
ready
and
to bop,
yeah,
babe.
zugga-da-dum-dum-dum. Um, I I just wanted to feel I always wanted to feel powerful. I feel like that's
Mm.
what I found stuff that I was good at. And so I just stayed deeply rooted in those places. Like I'm stuck in high school, Tori. Like that's what I'm thinking about. I was like, what did I do in high school? Because I feel like
So
high
high
school
school
is
was like
really I think that's where all the yuck really happens. Maybe it's middle school.
ugh.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't.
What is your negative self-talk or being mean to yourself? What is your version of that?
It all has to do with physical stuff.
Mm.
Like it is that is, and I can't tell you where that started because it hasn't been my whole life. I think it started probably when I got into yoga. Like,
Really?
yeah, if I like really, because I'm trying to think about like early 20s Tory and during college, I didn't really care, right? I was just like the funny fat gal, right? And I'm not fat, but like I'm short
Yeah,
and curvy,
when you're short.
short
Yeah.
and curvy. So like you're just put in the funny fat friend era or zone. And so, which I was fine with because I was like, okay,
I mean, those are always the most fun
they're the
characters to
most fun
play.
to play. And so, like, hell yeah, I got to play like Maisie and from Seussical and, like, I
Mhm.
got to play all the villains and, like, the mean gals, and I was like, "That's actually way more fun than the ingenues." Um, because any ingenue I've played is still, like, the darkest ingenues. So, and I even when I was, like Fucking from Wild Party, Queenie. Like, she's the ingenue, I
Oh,
think,
yeah, but I
but
also
not
feel like
really.
Wild Party is
Wild Party's weird, but,
yeah.
you know, and, I just always played the dark characters, which I'm also, I love. Um, so I didn't physically think that that had to change, but then I went to a school, gained a lot of weight because I was miserable
Yeah.
mentally,
Yeah.
and then came back and was like, "I'm gonna get in the best shape ever." And I think that's where, like, it started. And then the goals kept changing, right? It was
Sure.
never like I could never be satisfied with what I looked like.
Yeah. Did you okay, so you gained weight when you were in college,
Yeah.
and then you moved home, and that's when you decided you were gonna get in
I
the best shape ever?
um yeah, I had gone to SOU, Southern Oregon University,
Mhm.
between the AMDAs. So AMDA
Bless
Conservatory,
Ashland, Oregon.
Ashland,
God
Oregon, God love
bless.
them, is such a cute place. Such a cute
The
place, and I
most
loved it.
crunchy, just God, I love it.
But beautiful art being
Yeah.
made. But yeah, I lived in a dorm by myself and was I didn't have a lot of friends because I was like the 21-year-old sleeping in the 18-year-old Christian dorm.
No.
What was I doing there? How did I
No.
feel like I drew the short straw hard there? I was like, this sucks. And so I sat in my room and like had a whole sourdough dipped in Italian dressing,
Oh,
sourdough loaf,
sure.
and then and then a whipped cream can. I'll eat that whole thing
Just
in
spray
my
it
hand.
sprayed it wait, oh, you didn't not straight into the mouth, into the hand
No, I
first?
didn't trust it. I was like, "I'm gonna choke and die alone in the Christian dorm." So, no, thank you.
And there are gonna be a bunch of children
Yeah, they're like,
around who
"Oh my god,
cannot
throw
resuscitate you.
throw water on her. Give her the holy water." I'm like,
She's
"No, babe."
possessed.
Yeah, and so but so I and then I was with the theater crowd, so I drank, and I was 21,
Yeah.
so,
So you could
and so I could,
without
and
having to go to the Blarney Stone in Times Square?
which, man, when I lived in New York, I never did that.
Oh my god. I
Like,
feel like we
I've
went to the
never
Blarney Stone before I was 21. I was a year older than most people in
mm.
my class. But also I feel like we went to the Blarney Stone like maybe twice. And I was like, wow, I really hate this.
Yeah, well, I went there once. I went there once I was 21, I went back to, like, visit, and people were like, "Let's go," and I was like, I heard about it when I was at AMDA, like,
Yeah.
all the kids would be like, "They don't even card," and I was like,
And
"Okay,"
everyone goes there to get Long Island iced teas.
and Long Island, so I was like, "Let's go for the experience." I was like, this ain't it, kid."
Ain't it?
No.
Ain't
So,
it?
yeah, but I'm trying to think, and then I came home. Yes, I came home and was like, I can't go back to a dance. I can't go back and do like full dance classes weighing what I weigh right now.
Was there like a trigger? Was there like a catalyst that made you realize that or made you decide to change? Like, was there a clear moment that you remember?
I can't blame it on this, but I do remember it.
Okay.
When my brother and my mother came to see me in Urinetown when I was at SOU,
Okay.
and they saw me, and I mean, I was like 170. Like, I was hardy.
Hardy.
And their faces of like, "Oh," because this was, like, before sending photos all the
Yeah.
time,
They hadn't seen you.
and they hadn't seen me, and so it was just like, "Oh, hey, girl, you okay?" And
You're
I
like,
was like,
no,
"No, I'm
I'm
in fucking Ashland, Oregon with a bunch of thespians and a bunch of 18-year-old Christians, and, like, what am I doing here?" And so it was like, I remember having that conversation of, like, I think they were being supportive, right?
Yeah.
Being supportive, but man, no, this thing I'm learning about parenting, doesn't matter how supportive it is in your head,
Mhm.
that child's gonna take it however they are gonna
Mhm.
take it.
Mhm.
I think about that every time I speak to my children. I'm
Mhm.
like, I mean this with the best intentions. Please don't talk about this with your therapist. Like, don't let this be the moment that
Yeah.
I fuck you up. I think about that probably
It's
once a
all the
day. I
moments.
think about
There
it
have
once
been
a day.
there have been moments where I mean, I have so much appreciation for the kind of relationship that Rosin and I have because our
Mhm.
communication is so strong. But there have been moments where she has talked about something that I've said to her in the past that
Mhm.
she had interpreted differently than how I intended
Yeah.
it, and just had held on to that for so
So
long.
long.
And then when we finally talk about it, I'm like, "Oh my god, that's not at all what I meant. Like,
That's
here's
not
what I
it.
meant." Yeah, but it's just like the
Uh-huh.
things, the stories that we tell ourselves based on what we hear.
Mhm. Because, yeah, I don't think that I mean, I think weight's always kind of just been in the air because, like I said before, I was on steroids. I was
Yeah.
on prednisone. Prednisone. You're on prednisone for 5, 7 days at max.
Yeah.
I was on it for 3 years
Your
straight,
bones.
every single
Your
day. Yeah,
bones.
that's how bad my asthma was. Was like I was supposed to be like a bubble person.
Oh my god.
Yeah, legit, a bubble baby. They were like, "Hey, parents, she's allergic to everything. She has really bad asthma. You're in the hospital like 4 times a year at least for like stays,
Yeah.
right?" Like my parents always joke, they're like, "Oh, we paid for the carpet at the in the children's
Yeah.
up in Seattle." I hope they've replaced it since then. But I was supposed to be 5'7". Like I was supposed to be a normal height, but
Sure.
I took it, I think from like, I don't know, I think it had to be like 7 to 9,
That's so upsetting.
which is, I mean, that's like when you're doing all the big growing,
Yeah.
right?
That's so upsetting.
There, and so like I stopped growing. eh, I haven't grown since like 4th or 5th grade. And so, so it's always been around. I like remember, and when you're on prednisone, you look like you're like a Michelin man. You
Yeah.
look like you're
So
the State
puffy.
Puff.
Yeah.
And so I've seen pictures, and I mean, God bless my mother. Man, she did the most. As a mom, I get emotional about it because she would like take me to, I was out of the hospital and she took me to like glamour shots.
Oh,
We still have the photos and they're so stupid.
I want to see. I want to see.
Oh, they're
I
hanging up
want
in my
to
parents' house.
see.
Because I was like, oh God, I had my dad's like, I had like his jacket and his
They
like,
loved a popped collar at Glamour Shots.
oh yeah, glamour shots. I remember like I wanted like jasmine jammies, and so they bought me like it's like a full like onesie.
Like the nightgown
Like
thing?
the nightgown thing,
Yeah.
remember? It was, like, made of
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
polyester or
Yep,
something, like,
mhm.
very
Yeah,
flammable.
you just light on fire,
Yeah,
just
just,
putting it
like,
on your body.
full,
Yeah.
part of somebody else's world, 100%. Like, it was like, it could've been really bad, and probably horrible on my eczema. Because oh, yeah, by the way, I have eczema all over my
Oh my
body.
god, polyester and eczema. What a cute combo.
Yeah, but they would do their best to try to, like, bolster me up and, like, make me feel really beautiful. That's also why I
Yeah.
was in pageants. By the way, I was in pageants. I don't know if I ever told you that.
Oh, do we have things to talk about? I had to go to finishing school.
Yes! Oh, yes!
Ugh.
Is that where it started for you?
The negative self-talk.
No good. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, when I learned that my tomboyness was not desirable and I had to learn how to be a lady instead and walk
Oh.
properly and stand properly and pose
Oh.
properly and but this isn't about me. This is
Oh, no,
about
it can be. It should be. You're also part of this podcast.
Yeah, finishing school. It
Ugh.
was called Cinderella School of Modeling.
Stop.
I won't.
That no, I
I
shan't.
shan't.
I shan't.
Yeah.
Ew.
I had to go learn to be a lady.
So I think our moms took very different approaches.
Yeah.
Very different. Because like when I got into they put me in pageants to like make me feel really beautiful. I got to like Jean Benet Ramsey the shit out of that. Like
Aw.
cute little dresses. My
Yeah.
dad was like in his all whites, in the his navy whites.
Like to come to your shows?
Well, because part of it,
Or
like,
was he in your show?
no, he had to like be part of it. He had to be part of it because
Get out of here.
so uh I had to be so little. I was like 5, like 4 or 5. Like I was itty bitty. And
Are there VHSs of this somewhere?
I don't think so. I don't think so. But
I'm
we have
calling your
photos.
mother as soon as this is over. I
we
need to know.
We do have photos.
Somebody
that
had
I'll
a
have to-
giant camcorder sitting on their shoulder
God, could you
recording.
imagine? No, Les was not about that. But there are photos, and I'll have to find them to post on the gram, which you should follow our Instagram, by the way. It's Nothing, It's Everything Pod. But you had to walk across. So my dad had to stand on he was like receiving me on the other side. So the little girl had to walk up middle of the stage. It's in one of those big ass fucking ballrooms, like
Yeah.
airport ballroom.
Uh-huh.
So many people, hundreds of people. And all I had to do was walk in my beautiful dress to the center stage in the microphone and say, "My name is Victoria Sparrow and I'm from Auburn, Washington." And then walk off. And my dad, who's in his dress whites, standing there. I literally walk up to the microphone and I leave.
Such a Tory move too. Fuck you. You don't get to know my name.
You don't deserve my name, friends. Goodbye. Leave you wanting more, you know? That's
right.
my motto.
That's right.
That
That's
was my
right.
motto at 7 or 6 or 5 or whatever age I was. And you know, my mom was like, "Well, you know, we'll get him next time." I did not win. But I went back as a 13-year-old, I believe.
Oh.
And I won Miss Washington, Junior Washington.
Miss Junior Washington?
Miss Junior Washington, you're staring at her. But this is where my mother was also just like, let your freak flag fly. She was like, Tori, you know, the talent portion.
Yeah.
And of course I sang and I did real great there. But there was also a section where you have to like show your outfit.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And everybody's wearing like fucking pink like suits. Right?
Suit.
Or like dress pants or
Oh,
God, what-
90s. It was the era of the pantsuit.
the
Yeah,
pantsuit.
yeah.
And but they were like pink. There were some dresses, right? There was, but I am not joking, cargo pants,
Stop.
like a frilly top, a jester hat. That was a left-hand turn, and like a Walkman. Like I had a Walkman around like in my my cargo pant, and I rapped. I was like, "My name is
Stop
Tori,
it.
and I'm here to say I wear cargos every day."
Stop it.
Like, and I fucking won because my mom was like,
There
"It's gonna stand out, Tor."
had better.
No, there's nothing
I don't believe
other
you.
than like
I
a
don't believe you for a
satchel.
second.
I don't think so. And
I'm finding it.
I'm coming to your parents' house. It was, and yeah, so I took Miss Junior Washington, and I was her for a year. I didn't do any of the things I was supposed to.
Oh yeah, are
I
you supposed to do,
opened
like,
no
community
markets.
service and volunteer work and
Yeah, I
stuff?
don't think I did any of that. And that was the last one. I was like, I'm going out on top. This is it. Because also I did not look,
Yeah.
and I knew that, right?
Yeah.
Like I looked around and I was like, I had like a snaggle tooth. You know, it was before braces.
Did you have braces?
And I had definitely a shark tooth
Yeah.
that they had to pull, and so I had like legit snaggle teeth. And so she's just like, and I still won, which is hilarious.
It's very Washington though.
Yeah, yeah. They're like, give it to that girl. She's a weirdo, you know.
Give it to the weirdo.
It's give it to the
I
weirdo.
imagine you. What are the sticks from the Saturday market? where
Had him. Don't even play. I fucking.
What are they called? Oh my god, what are they called?
I don't know.
Oh my god.
They're like juggling sticks.
Yeah.
I had
Of
them.
course
and
you
I
did.
was good at it.
Did you wear your jester hat
Sure,
and
sure,
your
sure,
cargo
sure.
pants?
And I would
while
flip it.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and would you like do it with one arm behind your back, like
Oh
or
my
like,
god, I'm having a recovered memory.
Oh my god.
Because we went on like a ferry. My mom, my grandmother, and my grandfather and I went on a random Alaska tour.
Sure.
And in like Sitka, Alaska, they had these like jester. I
Yeah.
wasn't even into jesters, by the way.
Are
don't
you
know.
sure about
I-
that?
I
I feel like
mean,
you. I feel
I
like
don't
there's. Yeah.
No, it's just I'm a clown. This was just the start of my clown.
There might be some suppressed desires in there that we need to unearth.
Just like, yeah, let that freak fly fly. And I was like, give me them sticks.
Give me them
Give me
sticks.
the sticks. And there was another like hand thing that I was really good at. And I'm trying to think about, but I love to twirl a baton.
Is it the yo-yo thing on the string with the hand?
Oh no, but that was cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ow!
I don't know what
Recovered
anything's
memory.
called.
100% that I had those juggling sticks and I was dope. I was dope at it.
Dope. That's so dope,
I
bro.
was so dope, bro.
Sick. Dope.
Yeah. What a time.
I mean,
But my parents like really leaned into like letting me be the weirdo.
I love that.
So I didn't have like, and that's where it's hard for me to recall negative self-talk about like how I handled things. I was told I was mean, and
Yeah.
I was told I was a lot. I was told to, you know, I mean, really, it was the meanness. But
Yeah.
to be fair, to play devil's advocate, I was, you know, and but also to call out my mom, she like gave me space to be mean and did her best to like wrap it, keep it from literal scorched earth.
Yeah.
Because I was like, why don't I have any friends? I was some point in my life, I was like, why don't I have any friends? She's like, because you walk around with a big fuck off on your face. And I was like, what? I'm not trying
Well, that's
to.
how I feel,
You
but I
know,
still
it's
want
like, but
friends.
I still want friends, which the other saying is, "Hold me, don't touch me,"
Yeah,
which
that's
is
Roslyn.
yeah, it's like, "Hold me, but do not touch me."
Yeah,
And it's like, well, that's a lose-lose for me. I'm like, "Figure it out."
yeah.
Like, I don't care.
That's on you to figure out.
So,
That's how I feel, you figure it out.
yeah, that sounds like a you problem,
Yeah.
but I need you,
It's a YP.
but back up, you know? And so, yeah.
I need you, but give me space.
Yeah. Wow, we're really going down the Tory rabbit hole right now.
I love it. I'm here for it.
So yeah, when I got older and like realized that my body didn't look like others, then it
Mhm.
was like, oh, how do I change that? How do I morph that? And then I found CrossFit, and the reason I loved CrossFit so much, and I was firmly against CrossFit. I was like, it will break you.
I mean, it will if you don't have the right coaches and the right
A
mentality
coach really matters. And
and the right programming.
when I started, I had great coaches. Even now I have great coaches, but uh it but why I liked it is made me feel beyond powerful.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
not just strong. It made me feel powerful. And so I was like, okay. And with the right coaches, because knowing the body the way that I do with all my background, I was like, we get a lot of people who are hurt from CrossFit. And so
Mhm.
all I heard was that it was horrible. And I was like, those people look crazy.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
there's a lot of bad CrossFit out
and
there.
there is a lot. There's a lot of bad yoga. There's a lot
There's a
of
lot of
bad
bad
gyms. There's a
everything.
lot of bad everything.
Yeah.
Right. And so, yeah, finding the community that is supportive in a healthy way. But also coaches who know something,
Yeah.
right? And not
Yeah.
just about the movements. I mean, like,
Or AMRAP.
or
Just
just
AMRAP. Just as many.
AMRAP
Just
until you
over
die.
and over
If you
again. Yeah.
don't throw up, you're not doing it, right?
Yeah,
And
no.
like, I don't have time for that.
No.
That's dumb.
No.
So I think that all of those things matter, and luckily I found a place that would do that, but also had no problem being like, that's stupid. And I'm not
I'm not doing
doing that.
Yeah.
And I don't have the ego that everybody else has to say, I'm going to push through. Sometimes I do, and I've hurt myself doing that,
Mhm.
right? But that's where it's like, okay, lesson learned.
Yeah.
I, yeah, but that's why I love CrossFit. But that's where it really started to shift mentally. Like being smaller the reprogramming started there. Even
Yeah.
though there's some real unhealthy shenanigans
Mhm.
everywhere, right?
Everywhere.
Everywhere. And in CrossFit, like there's still some unhealthy shenanigans.
Oh yeah.
Um, but if you look for the right people, it's like thick is good, be strong.
Yes, be strong. Protect
Like,
your body.
yeah, like this is where the bone density, the muscle mass, the functional fitness really does,
So important.
it's so important.
It's soy importante.
Yeah. But that's where the repro and after pregnancy, I was like, the first one, I was like, I'm gonna bounce back. And I did the shenanigans the first time. And then the second time I was like, I cannot do that again. I can't do it.
No.
It just is, and because the only person I'm being mean to is
Is
me.
yourself. Yeah.
Like, and that's where I found that saying of like, would you ever say that to your friend?
Yeah.
And so I would like look at myself and be like, you are my best friend. At the end of the day, on the deathbed, you're the only person that's going to be there.
Yes.
And
But that is a choice, right? Like
Yeah.
you have to choose every day.
Yeah.
Am I my best friend or am I my worst enemy? And then how am I going to treat myself because of that?
And you can't talk yourself into the body. You can't hate yourself into the body that you want.
Yeah.
Like there's just, and that was it. Like even now, like wearing shorts, right? I'm like, I hated my legs growing up. I hated them so much. I would never wear shorts. Forget about it. And like cargo, it was all knee because it was like my legs did not look like anybody else's legs. And so I was ashamed of my legs.
Yeah.
And like older Tori now is like, those are the fucking legs you got, babe.
Yeah. And they strong.
And they're really strong. And so, sure, I have moments of self-consciousness, like where I'll get self-conscious and I'll catch myself and I do the thing, be like, yeah, but where's the good?
Yeah.
Right? Cellulite, be damned.
Hey,
right?
that just means your body's hydrated.
She hella
Hey.
hydrated all the time.
All
the time. And I think doing that, like wearing the bike short, because the bike short, I have bike shorts on right now. Like they're, oh my God, like it was a little bit of healing. Little Tori was like, look at you. You did it.
You did it.
You're doing it.
And look at that strong ass body that also, by the way, made other humans.
Yeah. And
Just
is hot. Like, also, like, the only person that needs to be, like, turned on by me is Pat, and he's doing
problem
it,
solved.
and me, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's also part of it is, like, you have to turn yourself on. We
Yes.
haven't even talked about sexy stuff on here,
Oh my god.
but
We're
calming
gonna
attractions,
yeah,
I'm
for
sure
I
we will
mean,
deep dive
let's
into it.
dive into it.
I'm sure we will talk about it, but that it's like you have to turn yourself on.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
and
Because
embracing
also,
the
like, the
dunka.
energy that can come out of you when you are able
Yes.
to look at yourself in the mirror and be like,
Mhm.
"Fuck yes."
And I will.
Yeah.
I will.
Because you choose to.
Yeah.
You really have to. It really has to be a choice. There
Yeah.
is no, like, magically waking up one day and being like, "Damn, girl, you look good." There is no, like,
No.
dieting your way into, exercising your way into. It is like a full holistic mindset
It's
shift in approach,
yeah,
like,
deep reprogramming,
deep reprogramming.
like to the fibers of your muscles.
Yeah.
I think that's every time there's, if we want to bring yoga into it, it's like the sheaths, the onion layers of what
Mhm.
we are, and like pulling back the sheath and be like, what nasty lives under here? Cool, let's clean it out. Let's look at it. And I think about that. The reprogramming is like pulling back the sheaths of who we are as people and being like, I don't like that.
Yeah.
And
That
so I
doesn't
can
feel
that
good.
doesn't feel good. So it's the only person that can save me from that is me.
Yeah.
I'm the only person that can do that.
Yeah, there is no outside influence. There is no man, I remember who there's no way I'm gonna remember who it was.
Yeah.
Somebody,
Somebody in
somebody,
your life.
somebody,
Yeah.
no, like somebody in our modern pop culture,
Oh,
somebody
okay.
who's, I don't know, famous on Instagram or something.
Sure.
Just talking about external validation and how, like, it does not matter how much somebody else loves you.
Mm.
You can have the most loving, most devoted, most adoring, most, like, ugh, not idolizing. Why, it doesn't matter. You can have the most wonderful partner, right? You can
Yes.
be in a relationship with the most wonderful person who
Mhm.
thinks the world of you.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter
Mm-mm.
if you don't feel that way about yourself.
No.
And I remember hearing that for the first time, and, like, first of all, that reframed the way that I looked at relationships.
Mm.
I guess this was before Instagram. I don't know. It was somewhere. It was someone somewhere
The
said
brain
something.
is firing
Yeah.
hard right now.
Beep, beep,
Yeah,
boop, beep, boop.
woo, woo,
But I just remember
Yeah.
like, that moment, it was like a light bulb in my brain where I
Mhm.
was like, well, like, I wanted to argue with it, right? And be like, yeah,
Yeah.
but you
Yeah.
have to, other people have to love you in order for you to feel loved. And that's entirely untrue.
No.
That's entirely untrue. It doesn't matter. I could have nobody else in my life.
Yeah.
But if I love myself, then I will be enough.
One, because those people wanna be around those people who do that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Like
it's the law of attraction, right? What kind
yeah.
of people do you want in your life? Do you
Mhm.
want people that say horrible things to you? Like you say to
Like you
yourself?
say to yourself.
Yeah. Or do you want people who
I
are
mean, right? That's the thing is like if a friend came up to you and was like, "Girl, you having a chubby day."
yeah.
How fast would that person be out of your life?
Yes. Oh
It
my
would be
god.
like they're not even gonna finish that sentence and I've broken a leg,
If somebody
right?
came up to me and said, "Get the fuck out of bed," I'd be like, "You
You
can
get the fuck out
yeah,
of
you
bed.
get the fuck out of my face."
Yeah, and make it too.
Yeah.
Make my bed.
Yeah.
Trash bag.
Trash bag.
Yeah, so like why are we talking
Yeah,
that
don't.
horribly to
Don't.
ourselves with a friend that's always with us?
Yeah. I think parenting too is like a major reframe because how
Mm.
I perceive myself and how I talk to myself is how I'm teaching my children
Mhm.
to perceive themselves and talk about themselves.
Mhm.
And growing up with parents who were obsessed with physique
Oh.
and obsessed with body type
Mhm.
and obsessed with diet culture, and parents with disordered eating habits
Mhm.
and disordered exercise habits, I learned very quickly what gave you value physically as a human. And I don't want to pass that on
No.
to my children.
No.
And I want my children to know when they go back into those environments and get exposed to those same people with those
Mm.
same mentalities that they are allowed to think and feel differently.
Yes. Yikes.
Yikes. Yikes. And also, like, parents, come on. Love
Mhm.
yourselves. You're great. Your body shape doesn't matter.
Yeah. It really
You
doesn't.
know what does matter? Your health.
Yeah. I think reframing it that way too also helped me instead of like what it looked like, how did it feel?
Yeah.
Right? How do you
Yeah.
feel? Uh, and I love data collection, right? I have no problem doing data collection of like, yeah, we're gonna like cut this out or we're gonna do that. Like, how does it affect my body? How does it affect my performance? I don't mind doing that. But like at the end of the day, we're not supposed to be on like a calorie deficit for the rest of our lives.
I mean,
We're not
no.
supposed to. In fact, it's
No.
bad for
It's so
you.
bad for
It's so
you.
bad, but we have been taught that that's just what it is, right? And I mean, even up until, I don't know, 3 years ago, Tori, I thought that's just,
Can you imagine living I mean, it is not possible. I mean, it is possible to live in a calorie deficit forever, but like
mm-hmm,
your but you will never optimize. Ugh, and I even hate using that word because that word has been like uh
beat to death.
yeah.
Yeah.
But you won't be healthy and
Mm.
you won't enjoy your life if
Yeah.
that is how you are looking at the world constantly forever and ever. And also like this is, a different conversation, but like if the goal is to have a certain body type,
Mhm.
setting genetics aside, and you believe that the way to achieve that body type is by dieting or restricting calories or whatever words you want to put on it, like this, it always goes back to the same thing. If diets worked, none of us would need them. Nobody would be overweight if diets worked.
Yeah.
Diets don't work.
Yeah.
Calorie restrictions don't work. And we know that because that's the data collection, right? That has been proved out globally
Mhm.
for decades now.
Mhm.
Diets don't work.
Mhm.
It is a short-term solution, and but we try to take it and make it a long-term application.
Yeah.
And that's not what it's designed to be.
Mhm.
And we have just like made it this chronic, like all uh like fix for everything.
Mhm.
But like that just doesn't it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Yeah. Hate yourself into the body you want,
No, you
right?
can't hate yourself into loving yourself.
No. And at the end of the day, it doesn't. The body is just the vessel, right?
Yes.
It's all about the internal.
And those layers are important too, right? Like knowing, like being able to peel those layers back
Mhm.
and be like, hey, queen, why do you talk to yourself this way? Let's get uncomfortable
Yeah.
and look at it and like feel our way through it
Mhm.
until you can heal that part of you or that version of you, right? That
Mhm.
past version of you where
Yeah.
that,
There's the layer. That's
yeah,
the sheath.
yeah. And she needs love too.
Yep.
And when you find a way to give her love instead of feeling shame about her or trying to hide her or sweep her
Mhm.
under the rug, when you get to a point where you love her, then that also leads to your own self-love,
Mhm.
self-loving.
Yeah. As a whole.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember when you said that you were like, past versions need love too. I think that was very healing for me because I was like,
Oh, that was in Mexico?
yeah.
I remember that conversation.
And just,
That
and
conversation is like a
it
moment
was a
in
core
my
memory.
core
It was a
memory
core
for me.
memory. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just like, and never knowing the layers, like never even understanding the layers until
Yeah.
you're there and you're like, what is that?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, because if
Like
you feel something negative about it, you always just try to like push the thought aside.
you're just like, well, that's past Tori's issue.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, or it could be right now Tori's
Yeah.
issue. And
Because it's still coming up.
yeah, because it's still coming up. It's still coming up. It's like what's happening right now of like, I feel like too much
Yeah.
a lot. And I'm like, but am I? Like,
No.
and if I was sitting next to Tori as her friend, like, would I say, yeah, babe, you might want to dial it down? No, I'd be like, ratchet that shit up, girl.
Light it on
Light it on
fire.
fire. Light it on fire. Because
Yeah.
if people can't handle the magic that we bring, then they're not worth my magic.
No, those aren't your people. Your people are
Right.
somewhere else.
Yes. Find them in Mexico.
Come on.
Let's go to Mexico.
Do you have any speaking of, do you
Yeah.
have any rooms left open, beds left open, or are we sold out?
I think we have one left.
Okay. I have a friend. I need to tell I have a friend. I need to tell her.
I got a friend. Hey, listeners.
I'm saying it quietly. It's not for you guys. I mean, it'd be great if you guys came, but
Well, here's the thing. Hannah and I are going to do it until we die because it is truly a life-changing moment.
yeah.
And that's one of those things where, man, when you find stuff that is meant for you, it's that dharma, right?
Yeah.
It's like part of dharma being what is woven into who you are, right?
Hey, dog,
Dog,
go away.
dog. Wait, I'm literally texting Hannah to be like,
Do we have any?
do we have spots left? Um, Oops. And okay, Tori. I just sent an empty bubble. That's
Figure it out. Figure it out, Hannah.
Hannah does though, man. Hannah, shout out to Hannah too. I don't even know if she
Always.
listens to the podcast.
I love me some Hannah. I love me some Hannah.
I'm sure she follows us, but maybe doesn't listen.
She busy with a baby.
She's with a baby.
You know
Anyway,
what? You know what I think the point is of
Tell
this
me.
episode?
I don't. Other than Tori's traumatic.
It's that you're never too much.
And always enough.
Always. You are always enough. And
Yeah.
anybody who tells you otherwise doesn't deserve
Can kick rocks.
to be in your presence. They can kick rocks.
Yeah.
And then they
Lick
can
rust.
eat them.
Oh.
Go eat a rock.
But also, please like, share, comment.
Sharing is caring. Oh, I hear
Sharing
little
is caring.
footsteps.
Yeah, little footsteps are coming, which means that we got to wrap it up. So please, listeners and
Also, like,
family.
I want to hear from people.
I
Like,
do
what
too.
are your negative talk tracks to yourself? What are you stuck on? In a negative?
When does it come up?
Yeah.
And what comes up? And also, if you're doing that, we'll shout you out.
Yeah.
Be all in competition
Or if
to
you
get
don't want to
shouted
be,
out.
if you don't want to be
No.
shouted out, if you just want it to be private or even anonymous, I want to
Yeah.
know. I want to hear from other people because I know we all do it.
Yeah.
And talking about it, guys, is a really great way to start the process.
And shine a light.
Just putting a voice to it.
Yep. Shine a light into the dark spaces.
You
Spaces.
deserve more light in your spaces.
Ah.
Your spaces need light.
Yeah. Come on.
Come on.
But anyway, thanks for being here. Thanks for
Yeah,
listening.
thanks.
Keep listening.
Do it.
And
See you next Tuesday. Bye.
oh yeah, bye.